So, the Toronto Blue Jays didn't get another free agent. Shocked. I know. As the world comes to grips with the Blue Jays somehow finishing second on a free agent, let's break this down. This one, obviously, like the gold standard is now and forever will be Shohei Ohtani. Well, he's on the plane. That one, no. This isn't even Roki Sasaki, oh dang, they made a move that might actually free it up, or something like that. Or they have the best offer on Corbin Burns, or Max Fried, or any of those things. This always felt like it was the Blue Jays not being super serious in this and just being in it because it was there to be in it. I feel like if the Blue Jays would have taken a real legitimate run at Pete Alonso would have been a Blue Jay a month ago. But it just felt like they were always just staying in as a alternative to whatever the Mets were going to offer. It's like, yeah, we can offer you a little bit more. We can go a little bit above. If the Jays would have just got reckless for a second, like, yeah, yeehaw, baby, let $40 million, fuck it. Then I think they would have got him. But I think that they were just staying in it to just see if things with him in the Mets went so far beyond the pale that it couldn't be recovered and that he would just want out of there completely. And that's not what happened there. There was still some negotiations. That's how negotiations work. Yes, he made a strategical error by passing up on the big contract that he passed up on a couple of years ago or earlier this year. That one is, yeah, that's fine. Now, getting $30 million in a season probably helps you get over that pretty quick. But that was a tactical error on his part in the negotiations there. But it's still, like I said, it still always felt like it was going to be him in the Mets. And they're going to have to say, oh, yeah, sorry, guys. And that's going to be that. But that's basically it. So it never felt like the Blue Jays were really serious about this. It was just like we may not be Mr. Right, but we're Mr. Right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it just never felt real, the Blue Jays' pursuit in that. What is real is their need for another bat, though. And while I don't think that the Blue Jays were ever seriously in on Alonso, I do think that they seriously needed him. And now it is kind of down to just Bregman. And it does seem like talks with Bregman and the Astros haven't been overly productive. And so I think that this is where it comes down to from a Blue Jay standpoint, is that Bregman's kind of a need. And that's not a great spot to be in. We've talked about it before on video game streams and podcasts alike. He is just not the answer, I think, that you need him to be long-term. And you don't have to give him a 15-year contract, but it's probably going to be more than one to bring in a Bregman. And I worry, because of the baseball mileage on that body, about him wearing down a little bit. But again, the big thing for this team is they have to, like, a desperate need to be competitive, given the pressure that is on Atkins, and to a lesser degree, I think, Shapiro, and the obvious holes on this team. 1 through 4 right now, it's a decent lineup. If Springer can find form again, it's, in theory, Springer, like Vlad, Bo, Santander, a combination of those, right? And then Alejandro Kirk is fine, but you don't love him batting 5th, right? If you can get one more guy in there, then all of a sudden everything feels a whole lot better. Then all of a sudden now it's Wagner DHing and Clement as a defensive whatever, instead of both guys in the lineup, and kind of fingers crossed on that. And then also Jimenez, who can hit. Like you have filled your lineup up with some defensive guys who aren't the most proficient offensive weapons. And so the Bregman part of it is becoming a bit more of a need, and I just don't know if it's a long-term match there for Toronto. So it might end up being a trade acquisition for the Blue Jays by the deadline, to get that extra bat in there and give the kids a bit of runway to see. As it sits right now, the Jays are certainly not better than the Yankees. They're not better than Baltimore, and it's a coin toss with Boston right now if they can get on that kind of a level. And then the Rays are kind of off doing their own thing, and no one really understands it, but they're somehow going to win 85 games next year. So, like, the Jays, I feel like they're a lot closer to being the worst team in the division than the best team in the division, but I think they're also closer to a wildcard spot than they were when the offseason began.